Slade in Valrico, Florida. Ding, round 2. You got the Oakley Airdrop MNP with the Transitions XTRAactive Brown and the red flash mirror. Now you're getting the Oakley 3217, the socket 5.0, color 04, which is the satin black and cobalt in the 55 eye size. This time you're getting the Transitions XTRAactive Brown with the blue flash mirror. So let me begin. Let's take everything out of the original packaging as Oakley sends it to me. And of course your Oakley hard shell case, your Oakley cleaning cloth, which doubles as a carrying bag, and take everything out. And of course, again, this is the 3217 socket. It comes with a little plastic sleeve on the left temple to protect the temples from rubbing together during shipping, and I'm gonna put that on there for you. And this is, hopefully the camera's good enough to pick it up, again, the Oakley 3217, the socket 5.0 in color 02, which is the, I'm sorry, excuse me, 04, which is the satin black cobalt blue in the 55 eye size. It has the cobalt blue Oakley emblem on the temple and of course on the inside of the frame. And we're going to add the XTRAactive Brown with the blue flash mirror. Can't wait to see how this turns out, but I want to pop out the original demo lenses, one of which says Oakley, and of course you're going to get all the manufacturer's original packaging. Take the frame, place it into the tracing element of my blocker, scan this number, you were Secret Agent 1429, and hit start. A little stylus is going to pop up and go around and trace the inside bevel of the right side of the frame before doing the same thing on the left. Here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed in quality. You buy a genuine, authentic Oakley frame and you'll receive 1 free pair of clear single vision prescription lenses or non-prescription fashion lenses. If needed, my receipt has my federal ID tax number, which has, so if you have vision insurance or unused health savings account flex dollars, you will get reimbursed for this purchase. He's already got 1 pair for me. We're going to do ding round 2. And while that is pausing, I want to take a moment and give a shout out, which I was supposed to do last time, but I was just so excited to cut those lenses I forgot to do it, to his loving wife Shannon, to his son, his 20-year-old son Braden, his 17-year-old kids Kai, and of course the 13-year-old is Grayson. So I didn't want to forget doing that. I may have to do it twice tonight to make up for the first time. Move on to the next screen. That is the shape that I will be cutting, only magnified. If I get the little Oakley lens, actually we'll hold it up backwards like that, and that is the one that we'll be cutting. Pupillary distance for the right eye is 35.5, so the computer starts at 32.5. I'm going to tap this plus button. It goes up in 0.5 millimeter increments to that. I want to raise the vertical decentration, the seg height, to 20, and change the layout screen to a progressive from single vision. I also want to magnify it back so I can see what I'm doing. I've got the lens already marked up. Clean some stuff off in the back. And get everything laid out the way it should be. Those 2 dots tells me that it's laid out perfectly. Make sure the lens is large enough to fit. I always like to check that just to see. And hit that button. Oops, I did it too early. Did it too early. I get to do it again. Why? Because I need to attach this to your lens. This is a block, or as I like to call Jenny from the block, who just got engaged and has a ring on her finger about the size of that thing. Pull the, but I need 2 double-sided adhesive stickers. The black side is the sticky side. And I'm going to repeat a little bit of this as I did in the first video, but some people are watching this for the first time. So I'm going to place the sticker on there, do the same thing here. Pull the paper away to make the black side sticky. On the back is a magnet. That's going to do its job twice. The first time it attaches itself to a magnet there. Let's put that back to the right lens and not the left lens. We'll get to the left lens eventually. And get everything lined up in there the way it's supposed to be. Now I can hit the button. Place the block onto the right lens. We're going to do the same thing for the lens that ain't right, which will be played by the left lens tonight. Line up the magnet on the back. Same pupillary distance for the left side, so that has mirrored from the right to the left. Same optical center height. The vertical decentration, the seg height. Get everything lined up in there perfectly. And Wait, hang on, make sure everything's perfect. Oh yeah, we lined up, hit that button. Now it's going to come down, place the block onto the left lens. Now this is the edger, this is what's going to do all the work while I run my mouth. I will clean it a little bit, but it costs $40,000. It weighs 200 pounds. I recommend everyone go out, buy their own, put it on your kitchen counter. Then you can cut your own lenses at home. You will need this guy with the 2 thumbs who forgets to do the shout outs, and you can do your own shout outs at home. The actual cutting wheel is this diamond crusted wheel that's going to grind away your lens material from this size down to that size. Del Rey hollering at me. I'll holler back after the video. But that's what's going to cut it down to that size. This wheel in the center is going to put the channel, that little valley, so it stays inside the bevel of the frame. So let me go ahead and grab the right lens. Push that on there firmly. Actually, I need to wake up the computer. 1429, 1429. These are polycarbonate lenses, and I'm going to do something differently. I'm not going to put a safety bevel on the rear side of the lens. I'm going to experiment because it's not going to be seen in this frame anyway. If I do, I'll do it really, really lightly. I'm going to, I got to put the lens in. No matter how high-tech a machine you buy, you still have to put the lens in to cut it. The next one, I was going to cut it while it's sitting on the counter. Press that on there firmly, stick the magnet in there into the chuck, or by now you know I like to call it the Charles, because I don't know this machine well enough to call it Chuck. I don't know myself well enough to come up with a new joke either. Hit the, man, I keep blowing up, my phone's behind me. Hit the green arrow to start. The door closes, the clamp shuts. The lens is going to be traced by 2 white styluses, making sure that it's large enough to fit into the frame. First go round, and you can see as it's doing that, tracing the shape of the right side of the frame. And then the old carpenter saying, well, it's going to go right to the cutting wheel. Forget the old carpenter saying. It knows what it's doing. I guess because I'm not doing the safety bevel, it's going to stop. I did do polycarbonate. I did. So the light you see flickering in the background is water there, essentially to catch the optical sawdust as it comes off the cutting wheel from the lens. Polycarbonate lenses cut dry, where plastic, high-index plastic, and Trivex lenses cut wet, meaning that water sprays onto the lens for the duration of the cutting cycle. As I mentioned, these are polycarbonate, so water will not spray onto the lens except for the last 20 seconds of the cutting cycle, just to wash away any optical debris. But as I mentioned, your lenses are made out of polycarbonate, which is 40% thinner and lighter than regular plastic, virtually unbreakable. These are high-impact ballistics grade lenses, the same type of lens material that our soldiers wear overseas in combat zones to protect their eyes from shrapnel and flying debris. It's also the same type of lens material that OSHA requires in safety glasses for any of the factory employees while they're on the factory floor. It also has 100% UVA and UVB protection, as well as a premium scratch coating. Now I'll demonstrate the transition to XTRAactive brown in a moment. You got the blue flash mirror that literally looks like an anti-glare coating. I'm wearing the Crizal Sapphire on my lenses, so it's a lighter. This is just a like Crizal Sapphire on steroids. Pretty cool. I love the fact that it looks like a really, really cool anti-glare coating. But it also comes with its own proprietary anti-glare coating on the back surface. So you cannot order these lenses with Crizal Sapphire, Crizal Prevencia, or anything else. It has its own on there. There's a few people who have tried to order and I refunded their money. The $69.99 for the mirror coating comes with the mirror coating and its own anti-glare on the back surface, so you save money there. This frame sells for $173, which is the Oakley 3217 socket 5.0. Again, this frame sells for $173. The Essilor Ideal Advance polycarbonate digital freeform progressive lens is $149.99. The Transitions XTRAactive brown adds $99.99, and the mirror coating with the back surface anti-glare is $69.99 for a total of $492.97. Hit the open button. I'm not used to having the picture there. I'm having to work around it. It's throwing me off. So I'm going to dry everything off, and then I'm going to do a really, really light safety bevel on the back surface of the lens. Yeah, you can see my mess. It kicks that. Those white dust or powder is the sawdust from this cutting wheel. I'm going to go around and do a really, really light bevel. Run my thumbnail around to get that off the lens. And what kind of screwdriver I need. A Phillips head. I'm going to do a little bit of lefty-loosey with my red-handled Phillips. Do I need to do the smaller bit? I will do the smaller bit on you. Don't think I won't. Let's move you out of the way. Little lefty-loosey. Let me put that on there. There we go. I'm going to tuck the lens in at the outside corner. Do a little bit more. Little bit. There we go. And actually, let me go ahead and put the larger blade back in there. Make sure that's closed up in there perfectly, and it is, so we can go ahead and start cutting the left lens. Metal frames cut so much nicer first time around than the plastics. Plastics have a deeper bevel, and I usually have to take a little bit more off the lens until it's the right size, but the metal frames, you never have to worry about that, it seems like on my equipment. So flip that over to L, press that on there firmly, line up the magnet with the magnet there in the Chuck, the Charles, the Chucky baby, or of course by now I like to call it the Dirty Larry. I'm going to call it the Slade. And put that in there, hit start, just like before the, excuse me, got a little sawdust over there on the handstone. It's going to go around and trace the outside of the lens going around the, look, I got some blue on my finger. And it's going to drop down onto the cutting wheel. As it does, I'm going to go ahead and keep working on the right lens. We're going to pop that off, pull that off, put the sticker on there. We're going to come down here to the lensometer, put it in, turn the axis wheel to 180, and check the power of the lens, and I am getting hopefully plus 175. 175, one tick mark away from 2, leaving 1, 1 1/4, 150, 175, 2. Now you have, so you are farsighted. You need 7 steps of correction to see better far away. Once with your glasses off, everything is much too small, so that's why there's a plus sign. Your lenses magnify. Now, once everything is the correct size, you still need to take away 1 step of astigmatism correction. You have the smallest amount of astigmatism correction in both eyes that anyone can have. Essentially, it's like the fine-tune knob, and we're going to check that. 2 messages, and we're going to end up at plus 150, exactly halfway between 1 and 2. That's because if you had $1.75 and someone borrowed a quarter from you, you would end up at 150, and that's where we're at the 180 meridian. The uncorrected astigmatism, as I mentioned, makes 6s and 8s look alike with the letters P and F. Think of it as the fine-tune knob. And we're going to turn that fine-tune knob from 0 past 90 to 180, 270 for those of you keeping score at home, but 0 and 180 are the same number, 90 and 270 are the same number. Now your left eye, you need 9 steps of correction, but only, again, 1 step of astigmatism correction at the 96th meridian. It's kind of unique how you're on the horizontal meridian here and the vertical meridian on that eye, but of course that's only unique to me. The first 2 numbers are real values to be concerned with. That last number could be anywhere from 0 to 180. So I'm going to dry everything off. Do a little bit of a safety bevel around the lens, run my thumbnail around to get the optical sawdust off. Add to my sawdust collection there. Yeah, I know I got a blue finger. It's better being caught red-handed, blue-fingered. Where's your frame? Oh, here it is. Let's do a little bit of lefty-loosey. I have the rubber mat here to protect the finish of your frame so it's not pressed against a hard surface. And come on, don't pop out. Don't pop out all the way. Don't pop out all the way. You're going to do it, aren't you? You're going to do it. You're going to try to do it. All right, let me get this tucked in. You are not cooperating. Let me try something different here. Let me try something different. Let me see if I can take the screw out. Grab hold of that head. There we go, that's all the way out. Just the black lacquer on the frame, the paint actually had it in there. So let's go ahead and, when they paint the frames, they're actually put together. You can see the base metal of the frame. When it's in that piece there and they paint it, sometimes the paint gets on there and it seals that glow. So that's why I took everything apart to get it in there perfectly. That's why I was struggling first time around. And now, come on. I don't even want to go back in the slot. Come on, you. Come on, you. Let me get my pliers. Okay. Double jawed pliers, so again, protect the finish of the frame. Drop that slot in there. And do a little bit of righty-tighty. There we go. Actually, you know what? It did not go in all the way, so maybe I do need to back it down just a hair. Let me take it out 1/10 of a millimeter while I've still got it in my hands. 1/10 of a millimeter. Come on out, you. There we go. There we go. Take that down 1/10 of a millimeter, put it in, hit retouch. They never make you proud when you want to. I just said how well it does the metal frames, but I guess based on the prescription, the plus lens, I need to take it down a little bit more than I did the right side. So this is a good time to point out for future reference, -10, and I will write down how much I took it down on the left as needed. Man, you were looking good in those things. Make sure to send me another selfie if you would. But yeah, the old carpenter saying, you can always cut more off, you can never add it back on. You want a perfectionist like me cutting every pair of lenses that get shipped worldwide. That's a corny saying, but the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is that little extra in the beginning, and take the time to do it right. And speaking of sayings, I started getting into some ones where I get them posts every day, and one of the ones I got today was change your mindset, change your life. There is so much truth to that. A lot of people dwell on negativity. Instead of saying, I don't want this to happen, choose to say, I will make this happen in my life. I want to exercise more. I actually want to learn a foreign language. I want to get my garden ready. I just cut down some trees that could hit the house. So what I did do was I've decided I'm going to put in an orchard. I'm going to get about 5 apple trees, 5 pear, 5 peach, 5 cherry. What am I missing? Some plums. And some figs. I love me some figs. I used to have a ton of figs where I lived, and I want to put those back in. Oh, and of course a lot of blueberries. I eat a lot of blueberries. I have some blueberries now that I devoted to my garden space for. Now that I have more room, I'm going to plant some more blueberries. Here's a sad fun fact, or a sad fact. I have killed more blueberry bushes than I've actually planted, because I will buy them when I go somewhere, thinking that I'm going to put them in and I'm going to plant them, but then sadly I end up leaving them in my driveway and they die of drought or something in those little 1-gallon pots. I'm not proud of it, but it's the truth. It's very easy to buy a plant. It's harder to come back home and put it in. There. Oh, hang on. Is that in there right? I'm going to work on it. I'm going to work on that. I'm going to work on that. But let's not hold the show up. I can come back and do that later. Let me go ahead and pop the block off. Read the power on there. +2 1/4, -1/4 at 96. Put that in there on the axis wheel on 96. Put it in just above that black dot. Read the power. Now I'm getting +2 1/4. 1 tick mark past 2, going towards 3 in the black. Check your astigmatism correction. We end up at +2. Remember from the first lens, +2 1/4, -1/4, we end up at +2. Make sure that's off. Now your pupillary distance, 35.5 for the right, 35.5 for the left, for a total of 71. I'm going to turn the card around, place the PD stick against my thumb on your right lens, and we're getting 71 millimeters, so that's cut perfectly. Let me check the optical center height. It's going to sit directly in front of your pupil, 20. Oh yeah, looking good, looking good. So this is the portion every video that as I clean your lenses. I mentioned that there's free shipping anywhere in the US, and Valrico, Florida is still in the US. But when you get these in the mail, there's a small chance that these could fit too loose or too tight. However, there's an 80% chance that one side is going to sit higher than the other. That's because 80% of people have one ear that is higher than the other, and because of that statistic, 99% of all optical shops will do free adjustments. So just stop by your local place and tell them if it's too loose or too tight or high on one side, and I'm part of that 80%, and I'll show you in just a moment. But I'm going to get these in standard alignment, also known as a 3-point stance. The 3 points are 1, 2, and the bottom of the frame being 3. I set them on the counter. Actually, there is a little bit of a wobble. Let me straighten that out. I overshot it. There we go. There is no wobble. When I say wobble, I'm part of the 80%. When I take mine off, well, of course, these are just my computer glasses. Why can't I demonstrate? And of course, I'm wearing the Oakley 8132 cross range switch in color 02, which is the universe blue in the 54 eye size. The cross range switch has a thing where you can change the temples on there. I just love me some blue orange because my hometown Durham Bulls baseball team is blue orange. Flip that over, press down. There is no wobble. Close each temple to make sure they overlap perfectly and that neither temple is askew. Check the tension on each spring hinge. That is good. Now, got you an orange cleaning cloth last time. You'll get a yellow one this time. I just want to clean my fingerprints off from when I was adjusting it. Oop, turn that around. And I'm going to go ahead and activate the Transitions XTRAactive brown lenses and show you that blue flash mirror at its finest. So again, I'm wearing the Crizal Sapphire, which is a mild version of the blue mirror. When it's clear indoors, when you go outside, there's no comparison. So let me go ahead and show you that. I'm going to put them in my little Transitions box. And as you can see, it takes about 30 to 45 seconds for transition lenses to darken. It takes longer when you go outside. I'm sorry, when you come back inside to turn back to virtually clear. It takes about a minute to a minute 15 to turn back to clear. Now, this is important. Pay attention, everyone out there, Slade and everyone else. All transition lenses will turn dark on day one and continue to darken every day for the first couple weeks they're exposed to the sun. After that, they will work for years at maximum performance. The only time that my Transition Signature 7 lenses won't work is when you're behind the windshield of a car. Now, Slades, the XTRAactive brown, all the XTRAactive will get 30 to 50% dark behind the windshield of a car. Now, the other downside to Transitions is that they're temperature sensitive, meaning they'll get darker when it's 85 and below than they will when it's 95 and above. But I remind everyone, when it's 100 degrees outside, you're miserable, they're miserable. Nobody works 100% when it's 100 degrees outside. Having said that, the Transitions XTRAactive will get darker in hotter weather. It's designed for XTRAactive people in hotter climates, hence the name, XTRAactive. So that's it. This is the first time they've been activated. Again, when you look out, you only see brown. Of course, the way these are at, my finger was over that. That's the only reason it's a little bit lighter at the corner. It's where I was holding it. But when you look out, you see brown. But when people look at you, you will see the blue mirror at certain angles. Really cool mirror coating. It's not a devoted mirror coating like on the sunglass lenses, but at certain angles, you will see the blue that is in there. Of course, I can do this on the Transitions XTRAactive gray and brown. I cannot do it a mirror coating on the XTRAactive green. It does come in 6 colors: silver, gold, green, blue, red, and pink. He got the red last time. This is the blue. I did the green last week. No one has gotten the pink yet. Someone needs to step up and do the pink. See how that looks. Maybe I'll get a pair for my wife. She certainly earned it being married to me. Just celebrated our 11th anniversary. Speaking of anniversaries, I know that Slade has had one with his wonderful wife Shannon. And of course there are 3 kids: Braden, who's 20, Kai, who's 17, and Grayson, 13. What really cool names are those? Of course, I don't have to tell them that. Shannon and Slade know that, but I just even love the way that it's spelled. It's different from everyone else. It's different, unique names, just like Seymour Better, but it's even spelled really cool, just like Seymour is too, come to think of it. So we got that in common. So that's it. As I keep running my mouth, you'll see how these return back to virtually clear. But Slade, thank you again for your second purchase. Oh wait, by the way, if you like what you're seeing, you want to see more of these, subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram as freeprescriptionlenses.com, on Twitter as freerxlenses. You can, if you have a question. Now, I am an authorized Oakley dealer. I'm glad to bring this up. I'm not allowed to individually list the frames with prices on my website. So just like Slade did, he emailed me and inquired. He said, I want this frame, this size, this color. What can you do it for? I responded back. But if you have any questions, you can email me on the Contact Me button on the website, or at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com. You can also leave a question or comment in the comment section below. You can see as I keep running my mouth, these are getting lighter and lighter. Back to the original virtually clear. So again, Slade, thanks for your repeat purchase, this time for the Oakley 3217, the socket 5.0, in color 04, which is the satin black with the cobalt blue. And everyone else has got the chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.